Hello, everybody. Welcome to, excuse me, Sun Dragon Tips and Tricks. Rebecca at home. It's because I haven't had my coffee yet. I figured I would film today as I cleared off the table because I need a clean table to do my morning meditation. And I was going to do this yesterday, and I just really needed to rest for a bit. So I'm doing it this morning before I go to work. So there may be time constraints on this, is kind of what I'm alluding to, I think. So I have all these projects on the table, and I am going to show them to you as I take them off. I'll explain in a second what the deal is with this if you're not already familiar. But I also wanted to show y'all, because this is not necessarily shop connected. It is, but it isn't. I made this hat, which if you know what you're looking for, it's called the Stare, and I'm looking for the best. There's three different, oh, that one's nice. There's three different cats on it. If you look, you can see the cat who's looking at you like this. His eyes are right there. So I did this with yarn I got at the Southeastern Animal Fiber Fair from Apothecary. We do not carry it in the shop, but it is absolutely lovely yarn. So that was a personal project this weekend. So I'm not counting that in the count that I'm about to do. So once a month, we do a virtual Sunday sit and stitch. We do a Tuesday night sit and stitch at Sun Dragon virtually every Tuesday from 7 to 8 p.m. And once a month, we try to get in a dual platform virtual sit and stitch. I'm on Facebook Live and Zoom. And I pile all of my projects here on the table. And so I've done this. I want to try to mark down how many projects I have, because I've kind of half counted as I put them out, but I've already lost track. Full disclaimer, there are about 5 or 6 projects at the shop that I couldn't fit into my car to take home, or just I forgot. There was, and I'll mark them down as I remember them on here. My luminous summer top is not home here. It's on display on the pendles that we sell. So that I'm going to put one down for a sweater top. I have a pumpkin. I'm going to put in other category. Other. I have a pumpkin that I'm crocheting that I did not bring home. I have a little baby sweater that I am knitting that I did not bring home. It's my standing at the counter while people are looking at yarn project. Okay. And I think there are a couple others, but those are the ones I can remember right now. So we're starting off with 3. I'm making little tally marks. But I thought this would be a really fun way to show you the things that maybe have been long forgotten that I'm working on. And I'm going to have to put them away. I have a box over here for things I'm not bringing into the shop currently, and a bag at my feet for things I am bringing back to the shop. But let me start with one I'm going to keep at my feet because it's going to be my morning meditation. My stripe hype sweater with Rambouillet, Juniper Moon Farm Rambouillet. I am making awesome progress on it. I finished the stripes. This is not going to be a try-on thing. There's not enough time before I go to work. I'm just going to hold some stuff up. So my stripe hype sweater, I finished the stripes. I can stand up so you can see it on me. I finished the stripes. I haven't finished the ribbing, but that's on the smaller needle. I did start my first sleeve last night. I considered, and I really love this color, I am almost to, what morning meditation will be is the 3rd stripe of this lovely yellow. I considered doing the sleeves 2 at a time and decided I didn't want to have to deal with the jig jogs and the breaks. And I I wound the yarn in balls that don't have an inside and an outside, which would make it really easy to do 2 at a time. Use one end for each, I don't like the way this is sitting. Okay, one end for each sleeve. So, but I'm finding going around in a circle, if I don't lose the stitches on my needle, it's going pretty quickly. So, no sleeve, beginning of sleeve. And the sleeve's gonna have this color, and the color, I'm hitting some needle tips that are sitting here on the table. The color at the top is going to be on the sleeves. It's going to be really fun. So, stripe pipe sweater. Okay, I'm going to make another tally mark on sweaters. Let's see. I was showing things off yesterday, and so this is still on barber cords. I'm starting with kind of the newest that I was working on the mindless knitting part of. This one's gotten the least love and attention lately, but this is my harvester. So the stripe pipe sweater, I'm gonna, if I remember authors' names, I'll say them. It's Kutova Kika. And I'm gonna put this with the thing on the floor. Okay. The harvester that was a make-along during the year this year is by Jennifer Steingass, and I'm using Feederbrook Entropy for the color work and Juniper Moon Patagonia for the body. And I think once I finish my stripe pipe, I will be focusing on this and the Any Day sweatshirt more, which is what's coming up next. So this was the make-along in August and September, and I am only about 4 or 5 inches past sleeve separation, so this one has the most work of my more recent sweaters. But this one is coming back into the shop, so it's going in the bag at my feet. The next one to show you is my Any Day sweatshirt. This is by Ysolda Teague. And it's our current make-along, October and November, and I'm not going to finish it by the end of November because the stripe pipe sweater has taken over. But it's hard to see how long it is because I have it on 24-inch needles. But it is at almost 11 inches past the underarm, which is where it's supposed to be to start the ribbing and finish it. But as you can see from the Tecumseh I'm wearing, I like sweaters a little bit longer, and it might block a little longer, but I'm probably going to go to like 13 inches before I do the ribbing at the bottom. And then I'll move on to the sleeves. I'm using Jody Long Alba, which has a similar kind of like thickness and consistency to the Patagonia, but it's a mix of different fibers, and the Patagonia is just organic merino. So this is my second ball, so there's a lot of yardage in these, which is really great. That's going back into the shop. So that means I've already lost track if I marked these off or not. But okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So no, I didn't mark this one off. 4. But I think because 1, 2, 3, and the fourth one's the one at the shop. Yeah, this is gonna be fun. If you notice I didn't mark anything off, let me know in the comments and I'll adjust my tally. But I have to remember to, oh no, the little sweater. So I didn't mark the last 2 off. I'm at 5. Okay. I had a feeling, like, trust your gut. I'm always telling my students, trust your gut. Okay. Let's keep going with, as much as I can find them, the sweaters that are kind of buried on here. And I'm going to come over here because we're hitting older ones now, right? This is on barber cords a little, so I can kind of show it off like this. This is a sweater I started in Barocco Ariel. It's mohair, and I still have it on a barber cord. That tells me where one of my white barber cords went, so I could show it off for pictures, and then I shoved it in this bag. It is a Barocco pattern. It is in here. That's great. It's great when it's in here, right? This is Pixie. I printed it on yellow paper by accident. This is Pixie, and I am knitting it with Barocco Aerial Color, which is color changing mohair. And I'm going to try to shove it back in this bag. I was so excited to do, and I'm going to mark it off right now. I was so excited to make a mohair sweater, light and airy, just to show everyone what happens with that. And it's been stalled out for a while. I'd like to work on it, but I'm gonna chuck it over to the box because it's not coming back to the shop right now. Okay. Again, I'm searching for tops. Oh, here is a very unfinished top that I'm working on. I have nowhere near as many works in progress as Liz does. But some of these I'm like, I don't know which ones are making it through Finish Your Frog at February. You'll have to stay tuned for that. This is the Kutar tea that I am making with Noro Sonata. And I am only in the very beginning of the lace of this. My summer tops went into timeout when it became time to do some more winter things. And just when new yarn came in. So, so the Kutar tea, it's by Sari Norland. I really love Sari Norland stuff. You may have noticed. But, excuse me, again, haven't had my coffee yet. So that stays here. What's next? What's in here? Oh, I did bring this home. Okay, but I'm waiting until I get to accessories on that. I just didn't even notice. That's really funny. Okay, this I can reach, so I'm getting it. I think there's a paper in here for this because I can't remember what this one's called. Oh, yeah. I don't know if I have it's the Leon by Kaleo. This is back when I was doing the hexagon cardies this summer. I thought I heard someone knocking at the door, but I think my cats are just... Okay, I had to break off to see what was going on up there. This is the Leon cardigan by Kaleo, I believe. And it's a fancy hexagon cardigan with all these leaves and stuff in it. And I'm doing it out of a sparkly cotton. And some of the cotton's been discontinued. So this got stalled out when other projects kind of took my attention. But this is, it's going pretty well. I almost have half of it done. And I just kind of got sidetracked. So, but this is with Huasco Catone in a sparkly, and I can't remember if they discontinued the sparkly or just the main color, but that is staying here for a while. Here comes one of my kitties. Since I checked on them, they're like, what's going on? Okay, mark that one off. Here is, people haven't seen this for a while. Yes, I know, Freya. This is from a make-along from last year, from 2024, at least, if not 2023. Someone can tell me. Pressed Flowers. Actually, I think it's from 2023 because it was part of Finish Your Frog at February last time. Apparently, I took a needle out of the sleeve here. So it's in progress, but I knew I wasn't going to use the needle for a while. So there's not even a needle in these stitches. But this is, the body's done. I'm working on the sleeve. This is so close to being done. I will need a collar on it. Pressed Flowers. I did this with Jody Long Alba and Feederbrook Entropy because I love how the colors change. Now this, the Feederbrook Entropy it won't look the same way anymore. The new batches we have that came in of, I want to say, I can't remember which colorway this was now, but it's one of the brighter colorways that there's really faint teal in this, and now it's like bright teal. So every time I work on this, someone wants this colorway, and I'm like, it's not the same anymore. Because I was using, this is a product of frogging something else in an earlier Finish Your Frog at February. I was making a shawl out of this color, and then I didn't like how the shawl was coming out, so I frogged it and used it in this. And so it is several generations back of Feederbrook Entropy, and it doesn't look the same anymore. So it's actually, I think it's prettier, but if people want the more muted tones as opposed to the brighter colors in this, that is not, so this is the winter from Alba. That's not how it looks anymore. And this is some of the leftovers, what I have left to piece together my sleeves. So that is staying here. Ooh. And I'm marking that off on my sheet. I really love sweaters, as you can tell. So there's going to be a lot. It's going to be very sweater heavy on this right now. I'm almost up to 10. So let's look at another kind of current one. This one will probably come back into the shop with me. So I gotta detach it from everything else. This is going back to Juniper Moon Patagonia. This is my key sweater that I am making. And look, it's on one of those barber cords. Again, I would try it on, but I'm trying to conserve time right now. So if anyone wants me to do a try on of things, let me know in the comments and I'll try to make space for that in another video. But key sweater, 5 colors of Patagonia that I wasn't going to use for my harvester, but I thought they looked so pretty that I decided to play around with them in the key sweater by Petite Knit, which usually just has a main color and a contrast color. And I decided to just alternate my 5 colors, which means the colors are sometimes doing the main color stripe and sometimes doing the contrast color stripe. All of these I'm past sleeve separation. I want to say in this one, I am like about 10 inches past sleeve separation. I'm almost done with the torso on this. So once one of my other fascinations is done, this will be higher on the list. This one I am going to take to the shop because it's still relatively new. And if I make time, I will work on it. So he's going down on the floor. And he's my 10th, and I still have a bunch left. So, again, not all these sweaters are for me, but 95% are. So, let's grab this one. This is, I'm going back and forth between more recent ones and older ones. This one is coming off the needles a little bit, but when I get it back on the needles, I'll fix the drop stitches. This is another Jennifer Steingast because I love her so much. This is Forest Land, and I use leftover Patagonia for the main color, like contrast color, not the main color, for the leaf color. Leftover from my Koivua from a few years back, and the main color is Noro Tasagare. And so again, I think I mentioned this is Jennifer Steingast. I wanted to see what it was like to have the changing color be the one in the background. Now this doesn't change colors as slowly and consistently as Entropy, but you can start to see down here, it's going to do a fun stripy thing. And Tasagare, I can't remember, they might have discontinued this. We still have some left in the shop. We are still selling it in the shop. It's harder to work on when I know I maybe can't get more, but I do love this sweater and I've been wanting to make it for a long time, and you can get the same effect with a different Noro yarn. So I will probably try to finish this, but it is staying here for now because I can only take so much back into the shop. So, okay. And let me mark it on the sheet. This is really hard to remember. So let's see. Let me go to a more recent one that is going back to the shop. It's been sitting idle at the shop for a while, but this was the make along over the summer. The My First Sweater make along. This is the Flax by Tin Can Knits. I already had a worsted weight one that I'd finished for the shop in Encore, and a really basic one. So this is the one that I'm making with Fiji from Queensland. And I picked a really bright color, and I'm liking it more than I thought I would. But this is a DK flax. They have a flax in a bunch of different weights now, and this is the DK one. And honestly, let's measure this. I'm making good, have you noticed a lot of these are at the same point, and I have to kind of force myself to knit after sleeve separation where it gets kind of boring. And I think the reason my stripe hype is going so well. This is about 7 inches past sleeve separation. I think the stripe hype is going so well because I get to count and keep track of my rows and change colors. And that is just more exciting than mindless knitting. Why haven't I gotten further? I thought I'd gotten further, you know. So, that is coming back to the shop. I already have a huge pile for the shop, and I'm going to mark off another sweater. All right. A few more sweaters, but they are staying here, I believe. So, and I think there's 1 or 2 that I can't see here. Oh, before this one's staying right here on the table because it is part of when I do my lives. This is how far I've gotten in my ranunculus when I go live once a month for an hour. I've done this for 2 hours now, and I started by winding the ball and redoing some of the cast on. So I am only just past the increases after the ribbing on my ranunculus by Midori Hirose. But that is my challenge to myself, is that I'm only working on it for 1 hour a month, maybe an hour and a half if the live goes over the first Monday of the month. And this is one of the botanical colors. I think it's burnt toffee from Fiberspace's Vivacious 4-ply Botanical. So that's just kind of hanging out here. But that counts as a top. So I'm marking that one. Let's see. This is a really goodie but oldie in that this is my Polyrhythm sweater. It's a bottom-up sweater. It's from Pom Pom, and Pom Pom isn't publishing anymore, so that makes it hard to make this, but I love this sweater and I want to finish it, and it is bottom up, so I might make it a little longer, but I am actually almost at the sleeve part, believe it or not. It doesn't look like much, but if I hold it down here by my waist, it's almost where it needs to be. It takes a lot of focus. The sweaters that don't get as much attention, this is by Joanna. I can't remember her last name. It's a Pom Pom pattern. Like, it was published in Pom Pom though. The sweaters that require focus and patterning, it's harder to work on those because a lot of the times I knit are when I'm doing events, and I cannot really do I have to do mindless knitting. Let me phrase it that way. I can't really do complicated knitting at those events because I'll mess it up. So that is staying in here. I have all the yarn set aside for it. It's made it through several Finisher Frogget Februaries because I want to make it for me. It's almost it might become retired as a personal project this year. But it is yarn from the shop, and that's when it's kind of like, I keep it on my list. So marking another one off. Okay. I know I have a couple more, but I can only see one right now. So there may be another one that pops up into the mix. I'm making sure that, okay, some of this stuff over here is personal. Way off to the sides, I have some personal things. So this is my second attempt at, and it looks like at least one stitch might have come off. No, that's, I don't know. I'm going to put this back on and assume it's a stitch. The big ass brioche cardigan or something like that, or fluffy brioche. I don't know. I doubt the pattern is actually in here. Fluffy ass brioche cardigan. I think it was what it was. The Fab. That's right. The Fab cardigan. I'm doing this with fairy floss. It is lovely. I do want to finish this. It's been hard with so many distractions. My cat is crawling around the box right now. With so many distractions to keep this going. But 2 colors of Juniper Moon Farm Fairy Floss. It's a tongue twister for me right now, apparently. I think it's only going to take 4 balls total to make this, and that's why I started it, but I haven't even made it to sleeve separation. I was originally doing it in Ultra Alpaca Chunky from Barocco, and this is so light and fluffy because it's a chainette. I can't wait to finish it, but I can wait to get back to it apparently because other things have caught my attention. Okay. Put that over there. Mark off another sweater. I am up to 15 on needles. Incomplete. I have finished some stuff lately. I want to make note that there have been some things I've finished lately. They're probably not here because I've finished them. But I have a basket in the back that I really can't reach. But I'm going to start looking at some of my smaller things now. I put my computer on a little chest of drawers I have here, so it's up high enough when I'm doing these events. So I'm moving that out of the way. Let's take a look at, it may not go by category right now, but things I have in front of me that I get to move aside or bring back to the shop. Let's go to some of the socks that are sitting in front of me. So I've been doing a lot of sock classes, and this is a sock that, I was just starting a stitch on, so I'm not going to try not to move this. I was knitting on this when I went to the dentist yesterday. This is a cuff down sock that I am making. I used it in the video last week for Magic Loop, and I'm doing a class on cuff down socks right now, and this is West Yorkshire Spinners signature 4-ply, their bird series. I really love that it's stripes and like little fake Fair Isle, like just chunk. It's different than a lot of other stuff we have in the shop. It's one of my favorite. It's become my favorite yarn in the shop for socks and things like this that you need self-patterning for. But this is absolutely lovely. This is going back to the shop, putting it down there. So I need to mark off one sock project. Here is another sock project that I think I have a couple more at the shop. That's actually, in a second, I'll mention that. It's one of the projects I left at the shop. So this is left over from, and I have a few others over here I'm going to try to mention. I may not be able to reach. This is left over from my 2 at a time toe up sock class. I'm finally at the point to turn the heel on these. And I'm on Magic Loop with this, and this is the Lawn du Nord paint gradient sock that I broke in half. There's enough for 2 matching socks in here, and I broke the ball in half so I could start from the dark end with one sock and the light end with the other to have them fade in opposite directions. So this was really fun. And so that's another sock project that I've made progress on finally. And I think it's because I have a new interchangeable needle set. And so that will be coming back to the shop with me. So let me mark that off. A sock I have at the shop is, it's Queensland Fair Isle. And it is a worsted weight sock that I'm working on with my class so they can see things clearer and it goes faster. So I'm marking that off. It's not here, but it's a work in progress. When I did my virtual class for socks, I started some socks. I've already, this one I'm still kind of binding off. See, I bound off this one. This one's a personal pair of socks. This is West Yorkshire Spinners as well, but this is technically on the needles. I could count it as a work in progress. I was mostly bound off for this. I really need to free up this needle and return it to its proper place. But that is, I want to say it's Rum Paradise by West Yorkshire Spinners signature 4-ply. Excuse me. So that's 4. And for the, I really need to bring this one back in. I don't think it's even on a needle anymore. I'm looking for the other half of it from my 2 at a time toe up sock class. This is Queensland Perth for just slow color fade. And here's one. Yeah, I took these off the needles to show you something on another needle. But I can find this one. This one I had gotten, I can find one. I'm not sure where the other is. It might have fallen off the table. I had just gotten through the heel turn on this. So I'm going to count this as a work in progress, but I'm going to keep it over with the hot mess that are my unfinished socks on the side here. Because it would take too long to unearth. But I'm counting that. That's 5 pairs of socks somewhere in progress. let's see. I'm going to move on to some other projects that I'm working on that are here on the table. Okay, these are, I have a bunch of interchangeable needle tips that I need to put away that are causing issues right now. Those are from a Chow Goo set. This is from Queensland. Might be Juniper Moon Farm, but I can't. It's called Marilyn. Look, it's got sparkle. It's got sparkle. And this is one of the scarf patterns that came along with it. It's going to be a long scarf. It is really beautiful and fun, but I've been sidetracked by projects that are going to move a little faster. So I'll show you a little bit up close on this. This is going to take a while, but I think it might take 2 balls actually to get a long wrap with this, but it's a scarf. And let me know if you'd like the name for it, because it's on Knitting Fever's website, and we can get you a printed copy. It might not, well, I can't remember. We might have some nice copies, or we can print you one. So this is, I guess it's going back to the shop. I don't know if I want it to get buried in the box over there yet. But that gets to go under, I have a hat cowl category and a shawl scarf. I'm going to put it under the shawl scarf. This is taking longer than I thought it would. Whew. Okay. So here's a crochet project. This is the Juniper Cowl by Tony Lipsy. And I am making it out of a cake, a rainbow cake. It's going to be big and lovely and have all the colors in it of this rainbow cake, which is a fingering / sport weight cotton. And it's all puffs, so it's really, really fun. I've just been waylaid on it because of all the fun knitting I'm doing. So that's coming back to the shop. So that goes on the floor here. And that goes under a hat cowl. And this is Yarn Baby has hand dyes just specifically for our shop. She's our indie dyer from Colorado who dyes for our geography. And this is how Looking Glass is knitting up in a shawl. And this is, I think it's called Traveling Solo by Joji Locatelli. She's really, really good at, I've got other things stuck in here. She's really, really good at one skein fingering weight cowls. And somehow this broke off from the ball, which is over there somewhere, because it was in the stack here at home. So there's still a little ways to go on this. I get stalled out on shawls lately. It's not my happy place. They're neat for the shop. People like making them. They're not as popular as they used to be, but Joji is really good at these open spaces that make people think that it is crocheted because the holes are so open. But it's really fun, and it's staying here until I can find the rest of the ball. So that goes under shawl. Since we're on shawls, this one's staying here on the table because it's delicate enough. I don't want to chuck it around, but my Wild Swan shawl with exquisite lace from West Yorkshire Spinners. I'm stalled out on it, but it stays here on the table just in case, you know, and also so the yarn doesn't break and I have to rejoin it like I'm going to have to do with my Traveling Solo. So this one is absolutely beautiful, and someday when I have attention and focus, I will get back to that. But that was the Wild Swan, and that goes under shawls. Random needle here. Okay, let's see. So I'm just gonna, sorry for the noise. I'm just gonna start grabbing things that are closer to me at this point. So this is a new project that I'm really having fun with. One of the hat patterns we recommend for people at the shop is called the Bankhead, and it's for worsted weight, and it's not crazy complicated. There's ribbing and then there's patterning in the top part of the hat, but I consider it a pretty easy hat. And this one, I wanted to use our Armé that is red and sparkly, and I'm holding it with 2 colors of Harriet Find from Juniper Moon Farm. And this, it looks like, I feel like it looks like Christmas candy. So I will try to finish that. It's a small project. I should be able to get it done. I made a hat this weekend with personal yarn, like in a day. So this one's coming back to the shop. And I am going to mark off hat cowl. This one's a fun one. My yarn balls are falling apart. But most recent Noro magazine and most recent yarn we got in, like I said, here's confetti from the shop. It is, that's yarn from an old project. Noro, I know the ball has seen better days because it's been rolling around in my bag. Tenson, which is like 70%, almost 70% silk and then wool. So it feels kind of cottony. It's really nice. And this is going to be a scarf that I sew together as a hood. And I was making good progress, and then my sweater has taken over, my hype stripe. So this one, I'm loving how it's knitting up. It looks like watercolors. It looks like Monet paintings. The colors are online. It's going to take 2 balls. So I have my 2 balls. All of this I'm going to actually pack up later, but that's coming back to the shop. And that goes in the shawl scarf category. Okay. A brand new yarn we got in. I'm still going. I have some older stuff after this, so I'm getting towards the end here. A brand new yarn we got in is Lan du Nord Firenze, and it's a chainette. It is so squishy and soft. It is a light, super bulky, but this is 50 grams and has over 100 yards on it, which is awesome. And one of the patterns they published for it was the maxi scarf, and it was knit flat, and I am apparently caught up in this bag that has 8 colors in it. I am making it, I shifted the pattern a little. It had 2 of these little humps, and it was flat. And I'm making it in the round. I am carolizing this, which I don't tend to do because then I have to explain to people how to do it, but I'm hiding all of these floats. So it's going to be extra warm and extra yummy. And it was written for 5 colors that you'd have to get 2 balls of one color. And we have 8 colors total we brought in. So I am just using all 8 colors and rotating. And I'll keep going till I'm out of yarn. So that's fun. I think that's going back into the shop. And I'm not keeping track. I think most things are going back into the shop. A lot of them. And I am going to mark off a shawl scarf. I actually have 5 on needles. And probably more. So, okay, this is going to move everything because I try to stack things around my filming station, which is this. And so I think I have only a couple more things. I'm missing one of my sweaters. Oh, there's 2 up here. That's why. I'm going to just go back to those at the end. I put them off to the side. I knew I had other things on my needles. Some of these are a little tangled in here. Oh, wait. Maybe I can get this out. Okay. This is, I'm forgetting the name of this now, but this is by Tony Lipsy, and it is the Monty wrap. That's what it is. It is crochet. I am holding... Let's see if I can find where this is attached, and then I can tell you what I'm holding. I think it's a strand of mohair and a strand of lace weight. And I wanted to make a sample for the shop, and I stalled out. But I'm using Exquisite Lace and Barocco Ariel. And I maybe in February I can get back to that. It's like halfway done. And it goes pretty quickly with all the I just love the texture. I love this texture in it. The Monty wrap by Tony Lipsy. I have a few I've made not holding multiple yarns together. You can just hold a single yarn and it's really beautiful. But that counts as a shawl / scarf. This is, I can't remember the name of this either, but it was from a recent magazine, Noro magazine, with this Noro Sayun. And it's really pretty and really fun. It takes 2 skeins. I'm sure if I had this out in display, it would sell yarn. But I got held up on it, and then I stole the needle for something else. So it's still in progress, but it's not on a needle. and I know I'm using the needle that it says in the pattern, so I'll find a needle when I need to go back to it. Just about everything else in here is personal stuff, but I have a couple more projects. This one, the Scion scarf, which is gonna stay here, I'm marking off. These guys go in my basket, and the basket stays here. All right, I have a few other hats I want to start, but I haven't yet. Okay. I'm losing track of where I am and what I was gonna show off. Yeah, putting these up on this countertop was not the best thing to do because it's knocking other things off right now. Show you just how organized I am. This is the cat sweater. I think it's the cat something. I love cats or something like that. And I forget the author, but it's Colorworks Cats, and I am going to get back to it at some point and hope I have enough yarn for it. It's fingering weight though. Fingering weight is always challenging for me to stick with and get done, and people haven't seen this one in a while. But, and this is reminding me of another thing I left at the shop that I should talk about before I forget. But it has fully standing cats. So like I only have the heads done, but there's going to be a whole body to this. So that is another sweater / top. Something I left at the shop that I'd forgotten it was even at the shop is one of my kits from Circulo Crochet is a bear. And I should get back to that because someone was like, I saw the bear on your on your news feed, and then it went away. And then I never saw it again. I'm like, yeah, I stopped working on it. But it's going to be cute. So that goes in the other category. Just trying to document what I have. And this one stays here. I think it's tangled in the other project I have here. But the cat sweater, I do want to get back to. I need to finish the ones that are closer to being done. That stays here. Oh, okay. And this one, I wanted to make a sweater where I was changing colors every row. And I'm using the pattern I've done before for the Dingley Dell. And I have all these colors of Huasco Catone solids. And I was enjoying it, and then the yarn got discontinued, and I've kind of stalled out. Like, I have this much of the shoulder done, and I kind of stalled out on it. So, so I'm counting this as a work in progress. It may not make it through Finisher Frogget February, though. I don't know. We'll see. But that Dingley Dell, let me mark that down. And I was gonna make a stuffed cat out of the wizard that I have here. I'll count that as an other, but that just kind of stays here on the side. I have so much stuff going on. I have other socks going and things, but I feel like they're more personal projects. I'm sure I'm missing a couple things. That's the crazy part of all this is, okay, so here's my tally. Let's see what I got to. I have 17 sweaters or tops on needles right now. I have 5, either a sock or set of socks. I have 5 sock projects. I have 2 hat or cowl projects. I have 7 shawl / scarf projects and 3 that I'm calling other because they're like pumpkins or crochet animals or something like that. Okay. So 7 and 17, I'm taking, 7 and 7 and 3. So 7 and 3 is 10. So that makes 27. And then 2 more is 29. And then 5 is 34. I think I did the math on that right. I currently have 34 projects on in progress, not on needles. Some of them are crochet, but of the ones I can remember and count, I have 34. That's actually not terribly bad. It's more than I want it to be. The first Finisher Frogget February that I did, I had 60 projects on needles. and I got it down to 30. And ever since then, I've tried to get down to like 20 or so. So we'll see where I end up in February, because that's when Finish Your Frog at February happens. But my current tally of what I can find or remember is 34. Hang on to that number. We'll see how that changes. It's been fun hanging with you all this morning. I have to go make my coffee and do my morning meditation and do all kinds of other things and get into the shop. So thanks for watching with me. And as I always like to say, may your crafting be filled with joy and confidence. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.